What's up guys, Manny here from Technology TV, and today I'm going to be doing a comparison video on the Nokia Lumia 920 versus the newly released BlackBerry Z10. Before I start this video guys, I just want to say if you can do me a big favour and just take a second to hit that subscribe button up there. It helps me out a ton and just lets me get these devices in for you guys to review, as these aren't mine and companies have sent these me so I can show you guys out there their performance and how well they do perform. So if you can just take a quick second to hit that subscribe button, helps me out a ton. So for now, let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So the first thing you do notice are these two big and beautiful displays. So we have a slightly bigger display on the Nokia Lumia 920. We have a 4.5 inch display which has the Corning Gorilla Glass version 2 as well. On the BlackBerry Z10 we have a 4.2 inch display, which I have noticed the display on the BlackBerry to be slightly dimmer, which is obviously a bit of a shame, but they do have the same pixel resolution, so I can't really see what the problem would be, but I have noticed it to be slightly dimmer. It does work, but as I said, it is slightly dimmer. Now, one of the main things about these two phones that separate them is the size. So the BlackBerry, as you can tell, just looks absolutely beautiful. It's quite thin and light, whereas the Nokia is a lot bigger, it's a lot thicker and a lot heavier. So the Nokia is actually 10.7 millimeters thick, whereas the BlackBerry is only 9 millimeters thick. So there is quite a thickness difference. If I just show you right here, there we go, just focusing. So there is quite a thickness difference, as you can tell, and that 0.5 inches, 0.3 inches of screen as well right there. Focusing again. So yeah, there is quite a difference in size with these two phones, as well as weight. The Lumia 920 is 47 grams heavier than the BlackBerry Z10, which is actually quite a lot, because I've noticed the BlackBerry is very light indeed, and as I said, really quite sleek. Now, one of the benefits to the BlackBerry is the fact that it does have a removable back, so we can take out the battery if needed to swap it with another one. And the battery in this is a 1800 milliamp hour battery, and in the Nokia we have a 2000 milliamp hour battery. Also, moving on to the subject of, we can make the storage in this phone a little bigger as well. So it comes with 16 gigabytes of internal storage, but right here we have a micro SD input, so we can obviously put a 64 gig SD card in, which will give us plenty of memory. Whereas with the Nokia Lumia 920 we have just 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which is a bit of a shame. It's non-expandable, but it is 32 gigs, so there is quite a bit of storage there. Now, both of the phones are running similar processors. They're both 1.5 gigahertz dual core processors. The BlackBerry has 2 gigs of RAM, whereas the Nokia only has 1 gig of RAM. One of the benefits of the BlackBerry again is the, as you can see right there, we have a mini HDMI port, so you can connect it up to your TV if you've got a mini to standard HDMI port, and there's the charging right there as well. But one of the benefits to the Nokia is the fact of the wireless charging. So you can buy from Nokia, or whichever network provider you buy the phone from, a little charging pad where you can just get the phone. When you come back from work, you can just simply pop it on the pad and it will start charging. You just need to pop the charger into the wall. So they've both got the same sort of displays, similar specs, but the BlackBerry has got 1 more gig of RAM. Also, the BlackBerry is running their new OS software for their touchscreen device, which is quite nice as well. It does take a little bit of getting used to. Now, if we just talk about the camera for a second, on the back of the Nokia Lumia 920 we have the 8.7 megapixel camera, which is capable of capturing 1080p video, and it does take some really nice sharp images. And on the back of the BlackBerry we have the same 8 megapixel camera with 1 LED, along with this very nice back. I really do love the back on this BlackBerry. As you can tell, it's got this nice carbon fiberish look. Do quite like that. And yeah, they're just both stunning phones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the Nokia Lumia 920 first, just to show you how simple it is to use. So let's go ahead and do that. So you simply press the button and swipe up, and you're presented with the tiles, which you can put in any order you like. You can make smaller, bigger, anything you like, which is brilliant. You can move them around if you don't want it there, for instance. And yeah, you can do pretty much whatever you want with the front of your phone, which is very useful indeed. And a lot of phones don't do this, especially the iPhone you can only move the icons around, whereas here you can pretty much put anything you want on the front of your home screen, which is brilliant. Also, there's not that many gestures with this phone. There's not many swipes. So if I swipe down, we just get the icons telling us how the phone is doing. So we've got the time, the battery, the Wi-Fi, and also it does have a SIM card in at the minute. And if we swipe this way, we don't get anything. Swipe from the bottom, it just takes us down, and it's just a simple left swipe, which will take us to the rest of our apps and things that are going on. So if I do that again, and we've got quite a few apps here. Nokia, we've got a couple of few Nokia apps as well, which is their City Lens and Drive and things like that. So we've got quite a few apps here, and it does run quite smooth. That's one of the benefits of having this software, is it runs quite quick because the software is so simple. So that is one of the benefits, definitely. And as I said, we get these 3 capacitive touchscreen buttons. We have the back button to take us back to what we were doing, the home button to take us back home, and the search button, which takes us to the Bing search bar. So that's about it for the Nokia. I will quickly show you the keypad. So if I just pop onto YouTube, and if we hit search on a video, as you can see, the keypad right there. Obviously this is to whoever's going to own its taste, but it is quite a nice keyboard, very responsive, and any predictive text, as you've seen, will come in this little bar here. So yeah, we can get some predictive text going as well. So it is quite a nice keyboard, easy to use, really simple, very responsive, and it's quite a simple phone, but it's a bit of a powerhouse as well, so it's brilliant. And now if we move on to the BlackBerry, now the BlackBerry is completely different. So it's running on BlackBerry's new OS software for this phone, and as I said, there are no capacitive touchscreen buttons, no buttons at all actually on the front of the phone, which does make it look very sleek. I do have to admit, it looks absolutely beautiful, but I do miss having that home button in the middle right there, like on your iPhone or any button indeed. It just doesn't do it for me. But the way this phone works is mainly off gestures. That's what BlackBerry calls it, so that's off your swipes and things. And how it works is, to close an app is quite simple. We just click on the browser. To close the browser, we just swipe up from the bottom and it's closed, and we hit close again. And it's that simple really. And to go back to our home first page, we just swipe up. To look at our notifications, we can just swipe down and we get our notifications right there. And if we swipe left, we get our BlackBerry hub, which I haven't signed into at the minute. There we go. So we can change what we're doing. If we swipe to the left, we got BBM hub, which is basically a mix of all these. It will add your voicemail, calls, text messages, BBM and notifications into one long list. Obviously the newest first, so it is quite useful. And yeah, what I'm going to do is quickly show you the keypad on here as well, because the keypad on here is quite unique. So yeah, if we just go search in the browser, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to close up on the keyboard. So if we search Google, and I'll spell it wrong on purpose, there we go. So it doesn't, just hold on a sec guys. So if we go back to the browser, sorry, cross that off, and we do go to Google and hit Google, sorry. Now what I meant to do was hit the search bar. So if we hit that search bar and type Google, doesn't seem to be happening at the minute, guys. Just give me a sec. So if we go back to the browser, and if I go on to here, if I type my address into here, there we go. So as you can see, we get a nice little Google text appear right there. And if I purposely spell it wrong and put, there we go, a couple more L's, the Google that is written is still actually there. And all I have to do is swipe up on there and it puts Google in for me in the search bar, which is absolutely brilliant. And it does work really quite well. This sort of predicting text I do quite like. And we also have .com right there. And now I've just written google.com without really writing it. So it has worked very well indeed. And yeah, I do find it a lot easier to use this predictive text than on the iPhone or on the Nokia. There are a lot less mistakes you make. So now going over quickly the phones. Now the Nokia is a bit of a powerhouse. It's, if you don't mind a bigger, heavier phone, then you won't mind the Nokia. But if you're after a more professional, slim looking phone that doesn't, well, it does have quite a few of the same specs, but a bit slimmer, a bit nicer looking, then definitely check out the BlackBerry. But if you don't mind about the weight, as I said, and the thickness of this phone, and you want a simplistic software to use, make sure you check out the Nokia, because they're very simple to use, especially for your first time smartphone user. Whereas the BlackBerry is a bit more difficult to use. It gets time. You basically have to take a bit of time with the phone. But there are obviously benefits and disadvantages to both phones, which hopefully I have gone over and helped you in this video. If you think this video has helped you at all, please leave a comment down below, as this is my first comparison video. And also guys, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button up there. Helps me out a ton. Once again guys, this is Manny from Technology TV. Thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.